Back to order at 6:44. First item on the agenda. I have under public comments. Are there any? I know we've had a lot of those. We have one person. Mr. Arjona?
Yes, Mayor. Commissioners, good evening. We have Ms. Melissa Gonzalez here, and she's going to talk to us about the Red Ribbon Week. Sorry.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. My name is Melissa Gonzalez. I represent the City of Alamo. City of Alamo is hosting Red Ribbon this year in conjunction with the Behavioral Science Health Services. This is Melissa Alvear, so that, yes, the two Melissas are running the show. I just want to know that every year we come before the City Commissions to proclaim Red Ribbon Week. Red Ribbon Week, if you look, will be the 23rd through the 31st of October, but the actual Red Ribbon event will be Saturday, October 1st. Please mark your calendars. We would love to have the Mayor and Commissioners join our parade. It is in Alamo. We're going to be starting off of Duranta, going down Alamo Road, turning on Ridge, and ending at Memorial High School.
What was the date again?
October 1st, Saturday, October 1st. So we come before you today just for you to pass this proclamation designating October 23rd through the 31st as National Red Ribbon Week for the City of San Juan. Okay, and we do this in conjunction with PHJ ISD, Behavioral Health Services, and all our police departments. Chief Gonzalez has already graciously agreed to be part of the security, having the units involved, donating some bikes, and the City of FAR as well.
Okay, and the Red Ribbon Week proclamation reads as such: as the cities across America have been plagued by the numerous problems associated with alcohol, tobacco, and drug use, and where it is hope in winning the war on drugs, and the hope lies in the hard work and determination of our communities to create a drug-free environment, where local leaders in government and the community know that the support of the people in the neighborhoods is the most effective tool they can have in their efforts to reduce use of alcohol, tobacco, and other drugs by Texas. And whereas success will not occur overnight, our patience and continued commitment to drug education and prevention are imperative. And where the Red Ribbon was chosen as a symbol commemorating the work of Enrique Quique Camarena, a drug enforcement administrative agent who was murdered in the line of duty and has come to represent the belief that one person can make a difference. And whereas the Red Ribbon campaign was established by Congress in 1988 to promote this belief and encourage a drug-free lifestyle, involvement in drug prevention efforts, and where through October 23rd through the 31st of 2016 has been designated the National Red Ribbon Week, calling on all Americans to show their support for a drug-free state by wearing a red ribbon and participating in drug-free activities during that week. And whereas the Red Ribbon Initiative will be observed year-round, presenting a unified and visible commitment of our intolerance towards the use of drugs and calling all citizens in FAR San Juan Alamo to participate in a year-round drug-free activities. Therefore, I, Mayor Diana Martinez from the City of Alamo, myself, San Juanita Sanchez, Mayor of the City of San Juan, and Mayor Ambrosio Hernandez, Mayor of the City of FAR, PSJ ISD, and the Rio Grande Valley Council Incorporation, by the virtue of this authorized vested in us, and behalf of the City Commissions of FAR San Juan and Alamo, PSJ and Behavioral Health Service Solutions of South Texas, proclaimed the 23rd through the 31st, a day of October 2016, as a Red Ribbon Week. Thank you.
And I do want to just tell you that this year's theme for National Red Ribbon Week is YOLO. So that the school district, Dr. Key makes it mandatory that every school actually have a float in the parade. So the kids get really creative for YOLO. And if you don't know what YOLO means, it's you only live once. So that's the national theme.
Thank you.
So, thank you.
Under B, presentation on the scofflaw by Hidalgo County Tax Office and Hammer Enterprise. Ms. Enriquez?
Good afternoon, Mayor Pro Tem, and Commissioners. I have Mr. Tom Worley here from Hammer Enterprises, Santos Castañeja from the DMV, and Claudia Lisalinas, also from the DMV.
You want to come forward and give us sure. A summary of what you're proposing?
Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Santos Castilleja. I'm the Hidalgo County Motor Vehicle Manager. First off, I'd like to apologize for Mr. Vidal not being here. He's attending a training for his continuing education. As I mentioned, we do have our scofflaw compliance deputy for Hidalgo County, Claudia Salinas, here with me, and I have Tony Worley from the Hamer Enterprises, who handles the development and our credit card services. He'll give you some more information about that. As a result of the continuing success of the scofflaw program, we are happy to have the opportunity to extend you an invitation to join the scofflaw program. We are hopeful this program will assist you well in your collections of past due fines and fees. We are recommending that you seek an agreement of cooperation to confirm that an arrangement is made to deny vehicle registrations on your behalf. And again, the Transportation Code statute that states this is Section 702.003, which states the county assessor collector or the department may refuse to register a motor vehicle if the assessor collector or the department receives under a contract information from a municipality that the owner of the vehicle has an outstanding warrant from the municipality for failure to appear or failure to pay a fine, and a complaint that involves the violation of a traffic law. So we've got some information here, short presentation, and if you have any questions, I'll be happy to entertain them.
My question would be, I know that we have some aged accounts. How far back are you able to use with this scofflaw? We recommend that you have your attorney go through the agreement and make your decision based on what you feel comfortable with. The other cities in the past have gone back all the way to some 1997. So there isn't anything really preventing. Statute of limitations that says you cannot.
Well, I'm not an attorney, and I'm not going to get involved too much with that because there may be a citizen that chooses to go that route. But really, there's nothing preventing you to go back, to entire delinquent files.
Very good.
Everybody, yeah.
That's good.
Just to point out, the citation has to be 90 days old, and it has to be related to a traffic violation. Mr. Worley?
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having us here today. I'm going to attempt to use this little guy right here. Hey, it works great. Back in 1997, this actually came to about where the Texas legislature created this particular type of vehicle law. And it's been around for a long time, but what we've done is we've been able to kind of perfect it and go to the next level where we're actually taking this scofflaw program and interfacing it with some of the data that we have out there. So what that means is that we can take the data from your municipal court, we can put it into a program where as a individual would come in to get their vehicle registration for their car, and that clerk would actually go and take their driver's license, swipe it through our program, and look to see if there's any kind of a infraction or warrant existing in any of the cities that belong to our system. It not only encompasses the cities, but we actually have it set up for all the JPs too. Back in 2011, we actually took a file from Hidalgo County of all the justice of the peace courts, and there was about $40 million in uncollectible warrants, court costs, fees, and fines. To date, we've found that it goes back as early as the 90s, as Santos was mentioned. So with those totals, when we first started the program, the individual comes in to get their vehicle registration, and they basically get a denial form. And it basically says, you need to go and pay your city citation to City of San Juan, for example. At that point, the defendant or the absconder can pay right there in person and get their vehicle registration once they clear the fine. And then what we do is we take that monies and we distribute it to the correct bank account for the City of San Juan. The next step would be to collect the scofflaw fee. And that's another part of this whole program that makes it desirable for the county to be involved, as they're going to create the form, the search, they're going to manage the database, they actually have the printers, the toner, the paper, so as you know, there's a lot of cost associated with that, and we actually add a $20 scofflaw fee to each of the cases. So in this scenario, what we've done is we've told the public about the system. We told the public many, many times through commercials, there's a PSA that went out, and most importantly, the judge and many of the JPs were very involved in making sure that the public knew about this and was aware of it. And that's part of in your agreement that you'll see as well with the county, is that do some sort of public service announcements and let the citizens know that, hey, if you don't pay this, you could in fact deny your vehicle registration to get your vehicle. They called it Operation Clean Slate. That was the original name of the program, where they were able to communicate that to the public. Again, there's a commercial that went out where it shows somebody with a tag on their clothes, and it shows that they have vehicle fines or a court cost, maybe a failure to appear. And what they wanted to do is clean that slate off. It was a pretty good advertising campaign. I think even the Hidalgo received some accolades for it as well. What we did is from 2011 to basically July, we looked at all the records, and these are all the ones that have been paid through the scofflaw program. And what it does simply is it shows you a proving of the model. With 42,000 cases paid through our scofflaw model, it meant that the system was really working well. They've been able to collect over $7 million from this program. And so if you look at the county clerk and the district clerk, they kind of basically said, hey, what about us? We want in on this too. So not only did we add the district and county, but we also added several other entities such as La Jolla and Progreso, and we've signed on FAR, and they're also doing this scofflaw program. And of course, we're inviting the city of San Juan. Weslaco is definitely in the kind of the green light stage. I visited with the city of McAllen just yesterday, and they're very interested, and the judge is looking at how they can get that data to us and looking at the negotiation of the contracts as well. The neatest thing about the whole program is this form that gets sent out. It goes directly to the individual. So if the person walks in, again, they're getting a denial, or they can make that payment. What we're going to do is we're going to get this denial, and it's going to have all of the data that that defendant needs so that they can go to the appropriate court and be able to make that payment. If you decide as a district court judge that we're going to clear this case or we're going to accept payment, then we're going to get a new file from the city municipal court, and it's going to either dismiss or dispose the case, or it's going to tack on whatever amount is due or balance is due. At that point, the absconder can bring that form signed by the court clerks back to the motor vehicle department and get their registration for their vehicle. And then they're good to go until the next time they go and check their license, and as long as there's no more cases pending, then they'll be able to get their vehicle registration. I mentioned La Jolla, Progreso, and FAR. There's still plenty of other cities that are out there that we would like to make sure and get encompassed in this project. And as you see the different databases, we're actually doing all the back-end work with the hosted services. We have a credit card processing system that's the basic front end, and it communicates with this back-end system very, very well. It's used throughout the county today in many departments as well as cities throughout not only the Valley and Cameron and Hidalgo, but over 900 entities throughout the country that are using our credit card gateway today. The other neat thing about the system is that it's very easy, user-friendly. The county does a lot of the work on the front-end part. We do a lot of the work on the back-end part. And your particular part of doing the system is being able to just simply bring the data to our hosted service, FTP server, let us be able to take it and put it where it belongs, and then have the county's clerks be able to search that data and be able to bring up the data so that they can inform that absconder or the defendant that there's a case that's against them that they need to clear up. This is our search page. It just basically gives them a way to search for data. And the neatest thing about this is that it crosses and cooperates with other cities. So imagine, if you will, being able to look up somebody's case in Weslaco or Edinburgh or in any other city in Hidalgo. And that's one of the things that it lends itself for you as the administrator for the clerk's system as well. There's reporting as well, that we make sure that you know about what's going on in the back-end system. When the clerk sees the data, they can simply do a denial or they can accept payment. We charge a service fee to the cardholder. And with all of that said, all of the system is provided to the city of San Juan at no charge at all.
You mentioned about the $20 fee. Is that per case?
Yes.
So if the individual obviously has 3 cases, that's $60 you guys charge. Per. Yeah. Okay, and now going back to the dismissal, for some odd reason, you know, dismisses the case. Do they still have to pay your fee?
It's discretionary. It's our opinion that the county did all their work, we did all our work. If you go through a credit card gateway, that's a win for us as well. But if you decide, or the court clerks decide, that that waive needs to go for the service fee as well as the scofflaw fee, and you're dismissing the case entirely, and there's a zero for that defendant, that's up to your court. We would never mandate anything like that.
Okay, that was my question.
Yeah, it would be a good concern. And all the judges we've spoken with so far, that was one of their first things is, hey, if we don't want to pay you, we don't have to, right? We're like, no, you don't. Okay. So we just don't want the public to know that. I think it's too late.
Well,
just kidding.
Well, I'm
And
sorry.
again, I'm a collections enforcement officer for the county clerk and the district clerk.
Outstanding.
So I use it, I've been using it for years, I think it's a great tool. My thing is also with doing it though, and I guess we'll get with Mary on this. Mary is, okay, they get there to the DMV, they get the denial. What? You get the form. Go, they show them, okay, City of San Juan, a ticket, uh-oh. You got to go over there and clear it up with them. They're going to show up to Mary, and they're going to say, Mary, I went to go get my placas, and they didn't let me, and they told me to bring this to you, and that you're going to set me up on a payment plan, and you need to sign it so I can give it back. You know, is it up to us where we decide, no, you have to pay it in full before we sign this document to take it back? You know, or because when we say, you know what, we're going to put these people on a payment plan so we can
They
release.
didn't pay you the year before. they're
I'm
not
telling
gonna
you,
pay the next year.
that's where I'm getting to. I mean, what I'm going to recommend, and we do it with the county and the district, is you got to pay it in full. Once the count shows zero balance, we'll take it to the supervisor, the cashier. They're going to sign it. You can take it back to them. Because that happens. We started that. Well, maybe if they put half down and we release it, you're never going to see them again until next year. You know, but that's, I think with you, Mary, and again, you're going to have people that are going to come in now very upset, and, you know, just say, look, it's the new law. It was passed by the commission. We're doing this. It has to be paid off before we sign it. Bottom line. You know, and it's a great tool. It's gonna work. It is gonna work. You know, so I'm excited that the city of San Juan is that we're going this route. I think it's awesome.
Would it be something also policy that if you get through the scofflaw sent in and there's a warrant, I'm not going to come in. So is that something we need to do policy that if you come in good faith to pay off this thing that we're not going to arrest them because we have a warrant? Can we give that opportunity for them to do that?
There is one other real neat thing about the system. This is all online.
Okay.
So if somebody's issued that denial, they can just get on their phone, standing right in front of the court clerk, and they can, or right, not only the court clerk, but in front of the clerk for the motor vehicle department, they can just pay it. Once they pay it online, it's going to clear the case.
We'll get the notice back, and then we have to at that point drop any warrant or recall any warrants. So I think I definitely want us to be able to keep an eye on that, you know, we want to encourage them to come and pay it.
Yes.
So, you know.
My question is, all the data you put in, it said update frequently, because I don't know if it was the license plates for my driver's license, but the DPS had me down in George West. And I had to drive all the way to George West, and I had already paid that ticket. You know, and it's kind of bad if somebody lives out of town and they can't clear it, or they're clear and it hasn't come up to their data, and they have to drive in and find out that it's paid.
If someone uses the system right now, it's going to clear the case right now. So even if they're right in front of that DMV clerk, it's going to clear it and show up disclosed if they pay it through our eNet Pay scofflaw system. If they go to the city court clerk, they're going to pay it today, the new data in the middle of the night, 12:30, or at the end of that week, if you will, then it's going to also clear that case, and it won't show up on our scofflaw system any longer. So as long as we get the data that shows that the case has been disposed or it's been cleared, then we're going to show it up on the scofflaw system. They also have that form that they paid it, so when they take the form, they're going to give it to that motor vehicle clerk and be able to get their registration. At some point, whether it be that night or the next day, it's going to be cleared with the data that we're receiving showing the case cleared.
And they're going to get flagged, you know, that somebody comes in on a ticket. They talk to the court, they get put on a payment plan, they don't comply. They get flagged after 90 days, you said?
Yes, sir. We're going to age these at 90 days, and then it becomes scofflaw. Anything previous to that, we can display it on the system, but we won't be able to deny their motor vehicle registration, and we won't tell them they have to collect it. But we can certainly let them know that, hey, there is a ticket out there, by the way, and it's in one day or a month, it's going to be a scofflaw, and you would not be able to get your vehicle registration.
And Mary, that's something when they're coming in and they're on a ticket, and I don't know how it works with you guys on putting them on payment plans or giving them what, but you explain it to them there that, you know, we're putting you in payment plan, and we have it at the courthouse, we have it all over the place, and that's a tool. Look, after 2 months, you know, if you default your case, and after so many, it's going to get sent to the DMV, to the DPS department, because we use the Omni and all that stuff also. But explain it to them so at least they know, so they don't come back 60 days, say, hey, well, I didn't know this, and they're throwing the paper at you, and because you're going to get that, you know. But it's a good way to, you let them know right there off the back.
Yes.
You know.
Do you have any written pamphlets that you can provide our staff so that instead of well, there is something in writing that's handed to them to make them aware? Do you all provide that kind of support?
The sexual form itself, it has, doesn't it have some options in for payment plan? And it actually had, at least the first ones did.
Okay.
And what we're showing here at the bottom of the screen is we're kind of showing, here's the information that we're providing back to that particular absconder. And it shows the outstanding balance, it shows the scofflaw fee. And then, of course, there's a seal for it for the clerk to be able to sign it and stamp it so that when they take it back, they know exactly what happened here at the clerk's office. It would be up to each of the municipal courts to be able to manage the payment plan. What we've recommended is not have a payment plan. Like the Commissioner said, pay it in full. It's 10 years old or 15 years old. Payment plans don't always work. But if you go to the right judge, and I think the judges are awesome being able to work with the absconder, you know, it could be something they've completely forgotten about. And they give them some leeway for it. So hopefully they will comply. If they don't comply with a payment plan, then of course the following year when they get their vehicle registered again, they're going to end up with that same scenario. And then at that point, it'd be up to Mary to say, no, you cannot pass go. I've got to collect $200 and pay this in full now.
You mentioned about the 90 days. After the 90 days, it goes to scofflaw, right?
Yes, sir.
When does the 90 days start? When the ticket was actual written or when they have a court date show up on this date? Does the 90 days start on court date or when the ticket was written to the?
Well, that's up to us, isn't it? I mean, when we set up that person on a payment plan.
Exactly. So that's my question. Does the 90 days start when the actual ticket was written to that individual, or does it start when they have to show up to court? Okay.
The statute for the city doesn't actually put a timetable on it, so we've mimicked what the statute for the county states, and that states 90 days from the offense.
Okay.
So that's what we've mimicked with the cities.
Okay.
To use the same threshold.
Okay. Thank you, sir. That was my last question.
If someone has multiple tickets, we're going to give them multiple denials, and they'll need to go to each of those different courts. Oh, when we were looking through some of the data, we found out that Mr. Smith might have municipal court in San Juan and also JP and Hidalgo, and you might have another court find somewhere else, and so he may end up, you know, moving to each of the courts. We're going to provide that to each one of them. So imagine, if you will, your court clerks went from 3 court clerks to how many now? Or 150 people that are saying, you need to go pay this with a denial form. So there's I think in that scenario, I think you have a great model to be able to help customers, citizens, absconders be able to make good on their fines and fees. Of course, we do provide the credit card processing part of it. The system basically not only accepts the payments, but if we take a payment through our internet gateway, we're going to distribute those funds to each of the various courts, whether they be to each of the municipal courts that are participating, or even the JPs, JPs, county clerks, or district clerks too. And then, of course, the $20 scofflaw fee gets scraped and moved over into the county coffers for their collection of the $20 scofflaw fee. There's a receipt that's generated from the system. Again, it's all browser-based, so you don't have to put any data, software, hardware, programs, applications. There's no equipment necessary other than a printer that's connected to it, and internet access. And then we follow up with many of the different kind of reports for you as well. Even on the public site off of Hidalgo County's webpage, you'd be able to go there and be able to do a search and see if you do have a case out there. So if you're generating some public awareness, your citizens can go out to the website even today and look, put in their last name and their date of birth and see if they in fact have any cases that are outstanding, and make good on them now rather than waiting for them to be denied. And that's pretty much the whole system. We've got a settlement side, of course, that shows you the funds being distributed into the designated bank account, and we all the way down to not only the batch amount but also the case number, so that you know exactly what it was that we're settling into your account. This is many of the different modules that we use in order to provide the services to our city and our county. And then the next steps on our project is the approvals of the scofflaw system for the city of San Juan, an interlocal agreement with Hidalgo County, and then we have a professional services agreement that we provide for you. And after those pieces of information and us getting a count of a sample file from your database, we're able to put the system together in a very short few days.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
We have later in our agenda the appointing of a law firm on collections. What would be the difference in having a law firm that helps, because that's what the city's been using. We still have $1 million or so that's never been collected. Is that something that you would say that you would be working the same function that these law firm would be?
It's a little bit different because what we're doing is we're telling that particular person individually, if you want your vehicle registration, you need to go pay this. The law firm's sending them a letter.
Okay, but you're going after the same dollar.
Same dollar.
Same collection that we're doing.
The collections agency may be collecting.
Yeah. We're collecting. Marion, we're in the same boat with the county. I mean, we're using but we have a third-party attorney firm. When that's not working, people say, yo no manejo. I don't need my black. I don't have a car. Okay, but that's where the attorney now comes in, and hopefully we get them that way. You know, but you know, it's another tool.
So it would be the bulk of it. We would pass it through you all first, and then that which cannot.
We would love the opportunity. Absolutely, Mayor.
That would be something that we could work in conjunction and maybe.
And they can continue to do their collections, you know, on their side, and we'll continue to go through Hidalgo County with their 150.
The concern is the $20 and us actually still having the file for who do you give credit to? Was it the delinquent attorneys that helped collect this, and was there an additional $20 already collected, being that you submitted it to our office, and separating that's the most difficult part with that. But I know the city of La Jolla has something similar. You would just have to separate those that you send to our office and those that you send to them. I know our county department, county IT department also sends flyers. We have the same sort of situation where we're not sure whether the credit, you know, that they came in and paid based on the letter that IT sent or based on them being
I guess it'd be the coordinating, because either way, either scenario, the city's not paying a fee. It's being collected from the folks from which it's being asked to pay. So, you know, we're not losing anything by having the backup of the law firm for those that you can't get to. Okay, very good. Any other questions? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Under C, presentation, departmental reports, the Department of Finance, Department of Fire, Utilities, Police, Municipal Court, and City Manager. Mr. Arjona.
Yes, Mayor, Commissioners, if there's any questions for the different departments that are here available. If not, I can go to the one that I currently have.
Okay, go ahead.
We received the proposed supplemental environmental project SEP. This is through the TCEQ. At this point, there's no payment required as we speak. We sent the TCEQ will notify us when the proposed project was the first time sewer connection, because that was one of the projects that qualified for the SEP. They will let us know when we can start on that particular project. At this point, they're not charging us anything on top of the whatever we're going to be paying back as far as doing the first time sewer connections. There may be an administrative fee. A couple of $1,000, I think. I don't think it'll be more than that. But they'll notify us when we can start, when it'll be accepted.
Okay, and my question then is, the monies for that particular project, which we are using for a project rather than paying a fine, has that been identified?
That's something that we're going to be working on the next fiscal year budget, because that's going to be included on that on the budget.
It has to be identified for us to be able to proceed with that and to satisfy the requirement by TCQ. So I take it would come from, if it's the first time sewer connections, it would come from what fund? Sanitation fund, okay. So that's something we definitely want to see on the budget.
Yes. And it'll be a sanitation because it was a sanitation violation.
I also like for you to provide us an update. We had an application with the Texas Water Development Board regarding the 101 homes that are not connected.
Okay.
I'd like for you to tell us where that's at. What do we need to do? And I'd like to be able to identify the funds for where that. We've been working on that for quite some time, and we need to make it available. And there might be another project to consider as we're looking at the issuance of some monies.
Will do. Also, just to let you know, the 2016 street improvement project, which is the Coconut, the Pulling, the Hooper, and Salazar streets, Urban County was scheduled to receive the release of funds for the 2016 project the week of the 15th and the 19th. They already did that. They have already given us the listing of the engineers, which we already selected them, or kind of like we went through the process. We're sending it back to them, and then it's under court. At this point, they're going to present them over to the Commissioner's Court, and then decide who's going to be the engineer so they can go out for bids. So they're a little bit faster than we anticipated.
Beautiful. That's good to know. And those have been removed from the list
That
of
is
the
correct.
major streets.
We removed them.
Very good.
Just a quick update on the New Freedom Sidewalk project. That particular project is about 75% completed.
Really, really good.
Very nice. There may be some issues with the, Mr. Enrique, you want to elaborate on that? As far as the level of the sidewalk with the curb.
City Commission meeting. On the north side of the Nebraska, between the Lutheran Church and the expressway, the curve of the street, it goes up and down. And so the curve is going to have to be adjusted in some sections. And that's an unforeseen circumstance that nobody was aware of. But if it's not fixed, then the project will not be in compliance with ADA. So that's probably going to be a change order that is going to go before you in your next meeting. We did have, when we budgeted the project, we budgeted $10,000 for change order, so God willing, it'll be less than that. Also, at the intersection of Nebraska and First Street, where you have the signal,
Yes.
we have ADA issues there also that may require another change order. But hopefully,
Within the amount you've allotted.
hopefully, yeah, God willing, both change orders, if necessary, less than $10,000. But
So when is it projected to be completed?
in about 2 more weeks,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
The
so
project's moving along very well.
Yeah, it looks really good. So we need to resolve them while they're
Right.
It
still
has
on
to
the
be. It
sites
has to
and-
be because the project in the end has to be in compliance with ADA. We have an ADA consultant. So once the project is complete, then the consultant comes in and reviews everything. Any deficiencies that he finds have to be corrected by the contractor. There is a section, if you remember, on First Street that was built by the city crews between Oblate and I think
going west.
Cougar. If there's deficiencies there, the contractor is not going to be responsible because that section was built by the city crews. But God willing, no deficiency will be found there.
I had, as a matter of fact, Mr. Garcia is present here. He had mentioned that one of the corners that got built in need to be looked at for compliance. So
Yes.
I want to make sure that before we, have a, key turn on that, we know exactly
The
everything's
good
been-
thing is that this contractor has a lot of experience with ADA. So they're bringing the intersection of First and Nebraska, they're bringing up issues that they know is going to be an ADA
From the
problem.
design, from the original
Yes.
design. Okay.
So it's to their benefit to make sure that all the ramps are in compliance because they're going to have to fix them. If they don't build them right, they're going to have to go back and fix them, which is going to be more money for them. But that helps that this contractor has a lot of knowledge a lot of experience on this type of projects and ADA.
Top of it, and at the next meeting, it should be completed. Hopefully, all those have been resolved.
Yeah, just maybe we're going to have that change order in your next meeting.
Okay. Thank you.
The last item, Mayor, almost there with our budget. We're about maybe 75% completed.
We still need to cut around 250,000 on the general fund. On sanitation, we were able to show a profit, so we just needed to add some
We're in there.
little things there. And then we're still working on utilities, which is the fund that we're having more issues with right now.
Okay, and before you even, we're going to have a meeting when, regarding the budget itself.
I don't know, that's something to plan. I mean, we actually have to approve the budget before we approve the taxes, so it's probably gonna be on the next couple
For
of
the
weeks.
final,
For the final
vote.
book, correct.
yeah, because I want to take into consideration, we've talked about if there's anything possible that we can do for employees, so that it is incorporated into the budget rather than amended later.
Right, okay.
I think we want to address that, so when you wrap up the budget, you've got that number to work with as well.
That's pretty much what I got, Mayor. I mean, we've been working on the town hall meeting for the past few days.
I appreciate all the effort in bringing the
Easels and the,
yeah, the visuals are always very important. I think sometimes the words we lose a little bit, but with those, I think that helps. I think, and I enjoy the fact that the people did take advantage, our residents, to talk to you also. I appreciate the department heads being out here ready to answer questions, pick, give information. So that was a good exercise, and thank you for the work. I know you and Mr. Arjona have worked a lot on the numbers and the projections, so I appreciate
help us
that.
out a lot on the
Yes.
printing of the graphics and all that.
Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you all for that.
Ben,
It was very good.
again, I'm just, customer service, every department, anybody, any of you guys, you get a call, you guys know, even if it's not, well, it's not my department, let me transfer, help the community out, help the citizen. I know Mr. Navarro said right now, on our engineer and this, Commissioner got to say, well, that wasn't his project, but you know what, you're the engineer now, try to help out, do what you can, or let's direct the people in the right areas, But that's number one, guys. And of course, the people that call, it's never positive. You guys know that. They're going to call to complain. They're going to call to everything is negative. You're not doing your job. Have a smile. Do your job. Help them out. Be as courteous as you can. Kill them with kindness, and try to help the person out. Number one, guys. That's all I can tell you guys. I know all of us here get calls every day from numbers we don't know. And we have to call them back. We have to call them back. And majority, 95% is negative, 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 and why this and why that and all. But we have to call them back. Try to get the job done. Try to give them the answers that they want,
I just tell them, call Mr. Arjona.
Bring them
No,
over.
we don't.
And
But
one-
no, very good point, sir. Thank you.
And one last item, just to mention that we just received the truck from the sanitation department.
Yay.
Is it in circulation, Ms. Carmen? It's already
You're
operating?
going to use that for the parade?
I would love to.
Man.
We do have the two new vehicles. We have the front loader and what they call the grotto. I went with the driver to pick up garbage 2 weeks ago, and then went over to the landfill, and most of the residents come out and take pictures because it's so different from everything that is around the area. In fact, the people at the landfill in Edinburgh were also surprised, and they stopped, to ask about this vehicle, the front loader with the side. We got the new side loader 2 days ago.
Great.
So we're
That'll help
starting.
us with our
Right.
commercial accounts.
We took it out. Everything's done except I want to get the big logo, but we haven't had time because of the breakdowns of the other vehicles, so we needed to take it out on the street right away.
Hey, Carmen, so those, when we didn't pick up those residents, it was the truck that was,
We had, Commissioner, that for the last 2 weeks, out of the 6 vehicles that we had, or 5 vehicles that were on the road, 3 of them broke down all at one time. So we only had 2. I had to work the employees up to about 6:37, but it gets too dark and there's too many cars, and we can't pick it up because something's going to happen. Somebody's vehicle is going to get damaged and that. So the following day, we did it. And I do apologize to the residents, but it is almost impossible to answer all the
yeah,
phone calls.
that day of the night out, we had another resident that was complaining of right across from Sorensen.
Yeah.
And he did say, well, why don't they stay late? And I understand because after 5 o'clock, everybody gets from work and the cars are parked side by the streets, and it becomes a
Yes.
hazard,
It's
you
a
can damage the
liability.
car and we're gonna end up, but that's fine, as long as we start, like Commissioner Maldonado said, responding back to those.
We tried, Commissioner. Unfortunately, so many calls, you wouldn't believe it.
Yeah.
But I apologize to the residents that I couldn't get back to. I asked them, if I don't call them, come and visit me. My door is always open for them.
Thank you, Ms. Gonzalez.
You're welcome.
Anything else, Mr.
No,
Arjona?
ma'am, that's what I got.
Okay, moving on to public hearings. A, hold a first public hearing on adopting the proposed tax rate and levy for the city of San Juan, Texas for the fiscal year beginning October 1st, 2016, and then September 30th, 2017. Mr. Garza, just, I know we've talked about it at length in the public, in the town hall. Just kind of give us a summary.
Yes, Mayor. Good evening. Yes, actually on Tuesday, August the 9th, 2016, the City Commission voted and approved to keep the same tax rate as last year at 0.6993.
Therefore, we need two public hearings, one that is scheduled for today, August the 23rd, and the other one for August the 30th, 2016. So this is going to be the first public hearing that we're going to have.
Very good, thank you. At this time, I'd like to ask any member of the audience if they'd like to make any comments regarding the proposed tax rate. Please state your name for the record.
On the tax rate, I'm for keeping the existing tax rate, just with some additions that I would like for you guys to consider and maybe adopt in this process that we're now considering this tax rate to go to directly for street repair. On the street repair, I mentioned before several times dealing with streets, the lifespan. When you do in your list that you pointed out in your graphs for town hall, you have several of them that are in various aspects of grade level, whether it's poor or gravely of danger, right? So you have resurfacing or repaving. Those are two various points of lifespan of how much they're going to last. So on that point, I wanted to point out if Mr. Arjona, with those graphs, if you would consider putting those on our website, and as we go along forward with repairing those streets, if you could keep tab on each one of those that are being repaired and put along the date when it started and which is the lifespan that would be considered for that street to last. And hopefully that way our residents now know, hey, this is supposed to last you this long. And now put that list as far as the ones that are up next on the list to be repaired as a timeline. I really want to point out that if our website would have all that information, along with the graphs that you guys had today. Like I said, our residents are very well informed, and they would be more informed that we have more resources available for them. As our city wants to be more transparent, that would be a way to go. And like I said, if we have those lifespan, that now they would have a way of seeing the aspect of the work that is being done. So just that would be a way to do it. Hopefully you guys take it into consideration. Thank you, Mr. Arjona, for signing those graphs.
Thank you. Any other member of the audience that wishes to make, o miembros de la comunidad que gustan decir algo tocante el rédito de impuestos que se ha propuesto? All right, with that being said, anything from the commission? If not, I'd like to go ahead and close this public hearing at 7:26. And do we need to do action on that? Or no?
No, it's just
It's not an action, it's just a public hearing. Okay, very good. Thank you. Under item 7, appointments, A, consider the appointment to the Amigos del Valle Board of Directors, a representative and alternate for fiscal year 2016-2017. Ms. Gomez, and I'll tell you, every year they ask for us to reappoint or appoint someone to the Amigos del Valle. I've been the representative for I guess since maybe last year was the first time. And we have moved our meetings from Edinburgh. They're now in Westlaco. They're being held in Westlaco. And we did meet about 4 times this month. Sometimes it's a little bit more hectic, but I don't mind serving and representing the city again. So it's up to you all.
I make a motion to appoint Mayor San Sanchez to the...
As the representative?
Yes, the representative.
And we need an alternate?
We take one at a time.
Okay, that's fine. We'll take the first one then. For the representative, it's been moved that I be appointed. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor state aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, and on the alternate, is there a nomination?
I'll recommend Jesse Ramirez.
Okay, Mr. Ramirez has been recommended. Is there a motion to that effect?
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor state aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Under contractual resolutions, A, consider discussion on projects for the Hidalgo County Urban County Program for year 30, 2017 funds. It was tabled. Is there a motion to remove from?
So move.
Is there a second? All in favor state aye.
Aye.
It is now open for discussion. Mr. Cervantes.
Yes, at the last meeting, It was mentioned that the commission was interested in doing street improvements with these funds. What the city manager and myself did is we put 3 options for you to consider. All of the 3 options are in neighborhoods that qualify for urban county program funds. If you like, I can explain each option.
Go ahead.
If you can put it, Monica, on option 1. Option 1 is Sunset Street in the north end of town, from Raul Longoria to the end. And also, since we needed another street, there you go. Sunset Street, it was mentioned at the last meeting that that was a street that was interested, that there was an interest in repaving. It's right here. But because it's just one street, we needed another street in the area. Monica Street over here, in the survey, it comes out in fair condition, but if you drive it, it's pretty bad. It's in pretty bad shape. So both of these projects could be one project. We have an estimate from the project that we have right now through the Urban County program of $76 for linear foot. So if you, based on the distances of the street, we came up with an estimate of $199,000 for construction. That does not include engineering and geotechnical. If you remember, we have about $250,000 to work with. Now, Sunset does not have curb and gutter.
Or drainage.
Well, the drainage is on the side of the.
But it's
yes.
ditches.
Well, it's a system. It's a system.
Now,
if you want curb and gutter with drainage, then it'll probably be 100 to 125 for linear foot. So the price will go up.
Would you? And I know that particular street, for whatever reason, everything around it has the drainage and the curb and gutter. So that's kind of been left out for a long time. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that I remember seeing was when it rained in particular, it was there's no movement. Not even those ditches go nowhere. It is a way to catch, but it doesn't go anywhere while others do.
Yes,
and the water was turning toxic. It was green, yeah. And there was nowhere to go, and it was very difficult to do anything. And I know we had our folks out there pumping that one time, yes. But now every time it rains, it's getting even worse. And so, what would it take? And because it's just a one street.
Yes.
What would it take to get? I know Monica does have drainage.
And curb and gutter.
And curb and gutter,
yes.
So that's been done pretty well.
Yes.
What would it take, do you believe, that the urban county money would be able to install?
The engineer that gets the project, he or she will need to do an evaluation and how to fix it, as drainage system. Part of the water could go to Raul Longoria, I think, to the system of Raul Longoria.
Yes.
And then part of the water will have to go somewhere else. Because Texas will not allow all the water to go to.
Is that the one close to the Hidalgo County drainage ditch in the back or not?
It's just south of Minnesota Road,
south of
on the east side of Raul Longoria.
Where Ruben's Market is?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a one street. It's just kind of out there by itself, and I don't even know if they have lights, but it's just like a real abandoned street. And there's residents all along, but I think that for me the sanitary part is there. It doesn't cut off, but when it was raining, it was very toxic, and it was creating a lot of problems for them.
So that's one option for you to a good option for you to consider. If you want, we can go to option 2.
Go ahead.
Option 2, in my opinion, which is Cancun and Puerto Vallarta. In my opinion, those are the worst streets of all of the options within the money that we have to work with. The only
Didn't we decide these already?
No, we don't have.
Oh no, there was Pullen.
Pulling and Cooper. And
okay.
Yes.
Okay, I got you.
Yes.
But we have them on the list also.
Yes, it's in our list. Yes. So this is, in my opinion, of the 3 options, these are the worst streets of all of them.
Yeah, they're pretty.
They have curb and gutter. There may need to be some drainage improvements, They're within the budget that we have to work with. The only thing is, if this is selected, the people that live there will have to wait until the spring of 2018, because unfortunately, it's a lengthy process. Yes.
But you just repair that it'd be too long.
Yes.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, through the urban county program, it's a lengthy
Like a
process.
year later, a year and a half
Yes,
later.
we're looking at the spring of 2018 for any of these options. So, and then we can go to option 3, which is kind of on south of Sam Houston, east of Veterans Boulevard, which is
And those are on
12th
our
Street,
list
third-
also. Yes, Mr. Arjona?
Yes.
Yeah, they're
should
in
be
the list.
on the list as
In the
well.
list that we had.
yeah, all of in the survey they came out as serious and poor. 12th Street, 13th Street, Miguel Hidalgo Street, Doe and Coyle. That whole neighborhood could be fixed through the urban county. That neighborhood is eligible. It's another option for you to consider. And this one already has curb and gutter.
And that section of that neighborhood qualifies for the urban?
Yeah, this
Really?
neighborhood qualifies. Yeah, even though the houses are
Higher value?
kind of higher value, that because of the area, it qualifies.
Where was Sunset on the listing, sir?
Sunset in the survey came out as serious condition.
Okay, in serious, okay,
Yeah.
so it will be taken care of.
Yeah, and then Monica came in as fair, but if you go to Monica, it's pretty bad.
But I'm thinking of the Sunset
relation
for
to
the
Monica.
drainage. I think it needs to have drainage. It's just,
Yes,
it's just.
I agree, and so what we can do is, whenever an engineer is selected, we could give him or her instructions that Sunset needs to be with curb and gutter and drainage.
Yeah, that one is on the very poor section of the listing. So it's also one of the first ones that are gonna get, work done.
Okay, so you want us to make a decision right now?
Yes, please. Just 1, 2,
Show
or
me
3.
2? We got that on the list. That would be too long. I'd like to say we go for option 3.
3?
Yeah, it could withstand a little bit more time.
Yeah.
It's gonna take, what, a year?
Here, but
It will
if
be
you-
these funds, we're looking at the spring of 2018.
2018.
Yeah, it's gonna be a little while.
This one definitely cannot wait.
Yeah,
We know that
it's-
for a fact.
It's like a,
The other one is, I mean, it's just drainage, I'm thinking with all the Zika and all that kind of thing, especially that particular street, it just gets real stagnated. And I'm thinking one street only because if it's gonna have drainage, it's gonna take more. And we already on the list though, so we need to take care of it. And this one they've got it's a bad street, but they've got drainage and curb and gutter, and it's a matter of overlay, so.
they're all good options. But yeah, maybe option 3, they can wait a little bit.
Just patch their holes in. They got plenty of holes.
Just
But if
patch
they
the-
got drainage, no hole. Well, let's go for 3.
Oppose that?
Yeah.
Go ahead, and you want to make that in a motion?
Make a motion to accept option 3.
Is there a second? I'll second that. All in favor state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, same sign. It passes. Thank you. Just
Thank
work
you.
on that for us. All righty, under item C, this is to consider authorizing the city manager to enter into interlocal government cooperative agreement between Palm Valley Central and the city of San Juan. Mr. Cervantes.
Yes, the Palm Valley Center, located along Trenton Road in Edinburgh, Texas, provides a quarantine facility for the housing and care of animals ordered quarantined. The center also processes all unwanted animals delivered there by the City of San Juan residents. The facility complies with all the requirements of the Texas Health and Safety Code, Chapter 883, and all other state regulations for the operation of a regional animal shelter. The proposed intergovernmental cooperative agreement will be effective from October 1st, 2016 to September 30, 2017. Under this agreement, if a City of San Juan resident delivers an unwanted animal The resident will not be charged any fees by the center. Animal control officers deliver on the average 90 animals per month to the shelter. Staff recommends approval of the.
Are there any questions? If not, is there a motion for approval as presented?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor state aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Thank you. D, consider the approval of Purdue, Brandon Fiddler, Collins, and Mott LLP. Attorney Monday? Oh, okay, sorry. C, I had to put a check mark in front of that. Consider authorizing the city manager to enter interlocal contract between the City of San Juan, Palmview, and La Jolla for the creation of the CITE Crime Investigation Traffic Enforcement Unit. Chief Gonzalez.
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners. This is just another added opportunity for us to include in our asset forfeiture program that we have. This is an agreement that other agencies are going to be involved with, such as Palmview and La Jolla and other agencies as well, including the District Attorney's Office. So it's just an opportunity for us to be involved in crime investigation, traffic enforcement. Well, those agencies also an opportunity for us to get some asset forfeiture. I just wanted to give you some numbers since we've been involved in our asset forfeiture program. That since we're talking about our asset forfeiture program.
First of all, I was looking at the check that was put out there. That's an old check or a new check?
That's a 2012 check that we got for the building. Yeah, I just wanted to give you all some numbers here. Since 2007, our HIDA program, which is our DA task force officers, have brought in almost $2.1 million to the City of San Juan. In 2010, we added HSI ICE. That's a check that you saw there. We added $1.3 million to our asset forfeiture program. On the state side, since 2009, we have brought in $270,000 to our asset forfeiture program. In auctions in itself, all the vehicles that we seized, we brought in $295,000, a little bit over $295,000. So total since 2007, through our asset forfeiture program, we brought in $3.6 million to the City of San Juan. So this side program is going to be funded also through a grant money, Mayor Commission, meaning that we have we're going to assign an officer, but we just received an $80,000 grant award, and that's going to include us purchasing a vehicle. It's going to cost about $40,000, so we're going to assign that to supplement and support our other forfeiture programs at no cost to the city, because that officer working that side program is going to be paid through overtime and grant money through Operation Stone Garden. So this is just another opportunity for us to continue our efforts through our asset forfeiture program, and allows us to buy units. Since 2009, we have bought a total of 21 vehicles through asset forfeiture. We have sent our officers for specialized training at a cost of $100,000. And we have bought some other equipment at a cost of $102,000. So it's a great opportunity for us to continue another program that it involved different agencies. And of course, all these programs will allow us to get a lot of supervision. Officers are not going to be allowed to work by themselves. They're all supervised at all given times by the respective departments and our agencies as well.
Very good. All right, thank you, Chief. Are there any questions? If not, is there a motion for approval as presented? Is there? Okay, it's been moved and second. All in favor state aye. Aye. Any opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Commissioner.
D, consider the approval of Purdue, Brandon, Fiddler, Collins, and Moot LLP, or Moot, I'm not sure how to say that, but attorneys at law firm contract for the court fines and fees collection services of the Municipal Court Department. Ms. Enriquez.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Mayor Pro Tem and Commissioners.
Good afternoon.
I'm bringing a contract from the collection agency to help us collect our fines and fees for the municipal court. On this collection agency, they charge 30% on each of the violations that the defendant has on each citation.
And that is charged to the defendant, not to the city, correct?
Whatever their balance is, they put 30% on the balance.
On top of that.
Yes, to each violation. If the defendant has 3 violations on each citation, it's 30% on each violation.
All right, are there any questions? Now, is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor state aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Thank you, Ms. Enriquez. Consider entering into a memorandum of understanding between the City of San Juan Memorial Library, the Rio Grande Valley Literacy Center to provide adult education and literacy service. Mrs. Singh.
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners.
Good evening.
This MOU is very needed here,
Yes.
and is going to provide GED, adult basic education, and ESL. We have here Ms. Jenny Newcomb. She's the Executive Director. If you have any questions for her.
Good evening. How are you?
Fine. How are you? Thank you so much.
I'm excited about this. We've been talking about it for several years, and now the fact that it's come before us in this type of opportunity, I'm really excited. Are these classes for GED be provided in English and Spanish, or is it just?
As the center, we have provided both English and Spanish classes. It depends on availability of resources, and it depends on the availability of instructional staff, but we have curriculum for both. We have been delivering Spanish GED classes in the San Juan Community Resource Center for the last 2 years with Hidalgo County funding. With programs in which there isn't funding designated, then there's a small fee that is assessed for the student that's participating. It's a $25 registration fee in partnerships where we have a non-financial agreement just to cover some basic costs as well as the cost of the books for the students. But this would give us the opportunity to provide ESL and GED classes in the city of San Juan proper, and be able to just reach more students.
And what are the classes? You'll provide the teachers and the
yes.
And the.
So it's provided by what agency?
The Rio Grande Valley Literacy Center is the organization, and we provide the curriculum and instruction.
Okay, yes,
The student does pay for their book if they want to keep it, but we also have books available for
Very
borrowing.
good. And we'll be able to have how many per class? What are your projections?
We don't start a class unless we have 8 in the class, and we can go up to 25.
As per need now.
And that should fit in the space that's here as well.
That would be the training room where that would be taking place. Yes. That is great. Do you help us? Do we hold the slots for San Juan? Is there a way that we can ensure that our folks are the first ones in? How do you work that?
Absolutely, we can do that. It just depends on the nature of the agreement and how it's established.
Okay.
If you want to ensure that first priority is for San Juan residents, then we can make that part of the agreement.
I'd like to see that incorporated.
Sure.
But yeah, I think it's a great opportunity, and it's something that we would help along a lot of our residents who sometimes have to go further to try to get this classes. So it looks like a great opportunity. And thank you for being here tonight. All right, are there any questions? If not, is there a motion for approval? Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor state aye. Any opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you very much. F, consider advertising for request of qualifications for bond counsel services. Mr. Garza.
Good evening. Basically, Council, we're in the process of requesting or going for a new refunding to the series 2016 and probably a new money capacity. And we need this is just for you to authorize, to advertise the request for new qualifications on the bond council.
And what kind of time frame are we looking at? By the time we issue, we would approve it and then it goes out and comes back. What are we looking at?
I don't know, this is something that...
The process will take at least a month and a half.
A month and a half, okay.
Yes.
And then once bond council has been approved, then we go forward to determine how much monies we're actually going to be able to go out for?
Yes,
And then
that
they
is
put the
correct.
paperwork together and we have funds at our disposal within 90 days, maybe?
Yeah, I believe last year it took us
Took too long.
probably one or 2 months in order for us
We can do
to
2 months,
close
that'd
out
be
the process.
fabulous.
Yes.
If y'all start working the numbers and everything, once bond council comes in, everything goes well, within 60 days, generally, you can take care of it.
To get the 4 and maybe more, as we're going to talk about, available, that would be really great. Okay. Is there a motion for approval as presented?
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor state aye.
Aye.
Same sign, motion carries. You're up on the next one. Consider an ordinance establishing a franchise on city-owned utilities. Mr. Garza.
Basically, by looking into different possibilities between Mr. Arjona and myself, right now we're looking into the option to actually start charging one of our enterprise funds, which is the sanitation fund, a franchise tax. the first thing that we need to ask, I mean, it will be to the city attorney, right? Is it legal to do that? I mean, can we actually do that?
Other municipalities have done it, so we kind of looked at what are the issues, and I think it's a great idea that what you all brought up. It's some funds that are not being utilized, they're gonna be sitting there. So I know y'all have to workshop, y'all had all this, y'all need streets. So if you meet all the covenants for bonds that you have in sanitation and those areas, and you meet your yearly responsibilities, you should be able to transfer.
I know that
And then, well, first
Sorry.
of all, transfer, and then as far as the franchise, as long as you can meet it, the yearly.
And so with the proposal, according to the agreement, it talks about both enterprise funds being the utilities and the sanitation, right? And it talks to a minimum of 10, so we'd be able to come up to about a 10%.
Right now, I have this study. I actually prepared this spreadsheet.
Okay.
I'm including a 5% franchise tax, 7%, and a 10% franchise tax. Now, if you can see, I mean, if we actually charge a 5%, this is only on sanitation.
Right.
And based on their gross revenues of, I did an average of 2.765 million. If we charge a 5% under that, we're gonna bring over to the general fund 138,000. If we charge a 7%, it's 105,000, and if we charge a 10%, it's gonna be 276,000, right? What I did is I did an average of the net profit, right? Can the sanitation fund actually afford to pay this extra franchise tax that we're gonna be imposing? So I did an average of, and I came out with 612,000 net profit that they do every year.
Wow.
Right? And then by deducting the 100, like for example, on the 5%, by deducting the 138,000, the debt service of 50,000 that they need to pay back, and the stormwater fee of 225,000, they're gonna still have 198,000 available as net profit that they can actually work on or bring it back to the fund balance. That's if we charge 5%. Now, if we charge 7%, after all the deductions, they're gonna end up having 130,000 available. And if we charge 10%, they're gonna end up having $60,305, which for me, I mean, it's a little bit too risky, right?
Now, the amount when we're looking at the 2.2 that we've mentioned, we're keeping in reserve how much?
If we
to meet our requirements for reserve.
Yes, if we took away 2.2 million, can you put it like a little bit more on this side? On the other way, the other side. Okay, that's the loan amount, 2.2 million, right? Right now, the sanitation fund balance, not counting whatever profit they're gonna be bringing over this year, it's at 3.4 million.
Leave about 1.1.
It's gonna take, yes, it's gonna leave them with 1.2. It's gonna cover 50% of their operational expenditures or 6 months.
Excellent.
So we're gonna be okay
And we
on
typically do 3 months at the general fund, correct?
Yes. Well, on sanitation, we prefer to keep between 1 year. I mean.
Okay, so we're right where we
We're
would
right.
be.
Yes.
Okay.
So we're still gonna meet that, not including whatever profit
What
they're
you're
gonna
gonna
be
put in
bringing
this
over
year.
this year. Correct. Okay. Now we are able to loan this money on 30 years. The general fund or the city is going to have to pay back $73,333 per year. Right.
Okay, and so look, can you go to the chart for 5 to 7%? So if we were to do the 5 on the franchise, we would be receiving 138,000 with 5% and 205, correct?
Yes, that is
okay,
correct.
so if we subtract the 70, what did you say was?
Can you go to the other side, Monica? To this side. If we subtracted from the 73,000 yearly payment that we were supposed to pay back to them, we're gonna end up with 5% having 64,000, with 7% 132,000 available, and 10% 203,000.
If we do the 7 at 132,000. If we kind of follow the model of what Mr. Vela presented to us on 125, we would be able to borrow approximately 1.5 to 1.6 million more, correct?
That is something that we still need to confirm with Mr. Vela. We actually had a meeting this morning.
Okay.
And we were speaking about the different options. He was saying, okay, what you can do If you're gonna have that funding available, you can actually reserve that money and put it back to the debt service as an extra transfer. That way we can actually recalculate all the numbers and tell you, okay, this is how much you can go on finance, right?
Absolutely, and I think I think you've created a option that actually allows us to expand on the 4 million that we spoke to the people about. And if we're able to calculate it to paying back the 2.2 or transfer, which is another option, and then it frees up the 130 some, what is it for 7%?
7%, it's 205,000.
I mean, we did 205, then you're really at 2 million more, 2.2 million more. So I think I'd like Mr. Vela to consider those anywhere as we're working towards the refinancing of what he's already identified. I'd like to be able to consider that, those options between the transfer or the payback with the additional money revenues and the extent to which we could do. So we could actually be able to do project-wise even $6 million worth. And I really like for him to provide that back to us to see how that would work and what the extent would be and how leveraged that would be in consideration of overall city debt that it has. Okay, so I think that's awesome. That identification is awesome. And my question to we have typically been putting $500,000 or more into the fund every year. We're going to be what is going to be left? 1.4?
1.2.
1.2, and then we probably going to put another $500,000.
A little bit less than that, probably.
Okay, so maybe 400. So we'll be at 1.6 on that, and for the emergencies that we always keep our funds. You understand that, Ms. Gonzalez?
Yes, I do. I sat with Mr. Garza this morning, and he explained to me. I do understand what he's saying.
Okay, and to meet the needs that we already, we've definitely been investing in equipment and those things that we are needing to upgrade what's happening. Are you comfortable with that figure that he's proposing?
Yes, I am. In fact, I was telling him I have plans to see if we can even bring more revenues in.
Other options?
Other options to bring more revenues and bring up.
Perfect.
If you were to have to buy another truck for next year just to keep up, you will have enough to buy another truck for.
I think right?
Yeah, because our issuance would not be till later, so
Right.
we've got the end of the year.
No, I just want to make sure you keep up with the trucks and make sure that you have enough funds. That,
I truly believe, Commissioner, that with the plan that I have, the department, we can't bring in the extra revenues. And I'm comfortable with what he is saying.
Mr. Garza, with this franchise tax that you're proposing, it's because this departments are using our streets, so that's why we're creating a franchise tax, or?
Correct. That's part of it, and they're doing business inside the city, right? Basically, it's going to be something internal.
Internal.
It's not going to affect any other businesses. It's just
Or
going to be
rates
between
or
the
anything,
city.
right?
Yeah.
And nobody's gonna pay anything extra.
Right.
Nobody's going to pay
You
anything.
gotta go this route instead of just, here you go, here's the money. We gotta create some kind of.
You need to have a specific reason. I guess it's by law, right, that you need to have a specific reason for you to transfer money from one of these enterprise funds to the general fund. Yeah.
At no time will it be an option to pass that to the residents.
No, it's
Okay,
not gonna affect.
at no time.
No.
As a matter of fact, I think the ordinance we put in there, that it will not affect the rates.
Correct.
You're doing a franchise tax because they're using streets. That means that it goes to streets. And that's the only way that you can funds, because you're charging them that franchise tax.
That way. Very good. That's a great option, and I think it's, as we are exploring it, gives us more possibilities, so that's awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Any other questions? If not, is there a motion for approval? Is there a second? All in favor state aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We will now enter the consent agenda. A, consider the ordinance in second reading for the rezoning request for single-family residential to neighborhood commercial for property described as Lot 1, Las Brisas, San Juan subdivision, located southeast corner of Raul Longoria and Sylvia Circle, as requested by Jose Maldonado. That's the only item on the agenda. Is there a motion for approval? For a second?
Second.
All in favor state aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We will now enter into executive session. The City of San Juan Commission will convene under the Government Code, Chapter 551, exceptions to the Rule 501.071, Trevino et al. Versus City of San Juan, and 551.071, legal issues regarding transfer of city real estate. We'll enter executive session at 7:58.
In my opinion, the items to be discussed are proper for executive session.
Thank you, Council. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved. Second.
It's been moved and second. All in favor state aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. This meeting is adjourned at 8:26. We'll see you, Mario.